by TNA Impact. A show that was okay. It wasn't bad. But it gives a lot of questions. Now, I'm not going to make this a long-winded review. I'm hoping I'm not. But I'm going to say this. For the decision TNA made, I'm saying it right now about the decision TNA made about the blood, I do not agree with. I'll explain why when we get to the dog collar match. But I don't agree with it. I'm going to make it clear right now. But let's get to the beginning of this. Let's say what the problem was of this show. And what was it? Bedford, California, I believe? Bedford. I think it's Bedford, California. I could be wrong about the place. You can tell me below if I'm wrong. I probably am. When they were in that arena, the arena is not totally full, which, hey, it's fine. TNA is still not drawing huge numbers. They're just not. And you could tell from the arena was not full. When you see them blocking, making everything dark, you can see huge areas is empty. So fine. I just want to make that clear. I'm not against them being in a big arena, even though it was not full. They're not known to be in big arenas, so they decided to get into a big arena. Fine. But if you're going to be in a big arena, figure out what's going on with your electronic equipment. Because again, audio was an issue. Lighting was fine. The camera work was fine. But audio, again, was an issue. Yes, I know people say, dude, this is back-to-back filming. Yes, but it doesn't mean they can't figure out what's going on before they film again. Within an hour or so, they could have checked. They didn't. I'm taking guesses it's going to be one after another, counting on how many recordings they've done in Bedford. And I'm saying, I know, they're in the same venue, they're recording back to back to back. I don't care. This is what Impact Wrestling used to do. They do multiple recordings, and one of the major problems was they just do one recording, and instead of trying to figure out what's going on, the other recording and another. And guess what? When he went to the next place to go, they still didn't fix the problem. Now, I'm not saying that TNA now is like Impact of the time before. I want to make it very clear. I'm not just chewing them out. But it has to be recognized. Again, another week where there's audio issues. Now, hopefully, when they're finished with this batch, there will be no more audio issues because they'll figure out what went wrong. But if it happens when they're in the next venue, then we have a problem, and I will complain about it every single time. But I have to be honest, this did happen. Yes, it is recordings, but you still got to acknowledge it. Now, did I like what Trick talked about when you could hear him? It wasn't bad. It wasn't bad about him talking about some women that was his honeys, but not his honeys, but one of them being Mercedes, but you know, that ain't the Mercedes that we know. And then we have the fight between him and Joe Henry when Joe Henry came out, which was all right. I wasn't having a problem with it. It is hyping up to go to Battleground, because that's where they're going to have their match. They're not going to have it Under Siege. They're not going to have it at Slammiversary or any other Impact Plus show. They're going to have it on NXT TV. So it's fine. They're trying to hype it up there, and they're trying to hype it up here in TNA, which is fine. I'm all right with it. Now, let's get to the matches. I want to go through them very quickly. Rosemary versus Ling Yang Lee. Now, I didn't expect Ling Yang Lee to win here, but here's the problem. I have not seen the story that's been going on with Rosemary and Xia Brookside much. Now, I'm not saying there isn't a story, but there isn't much of a story. And what are they doing with this story between Xia Brookside and Rosemary, trying to make Xia more aggressive? And let's make it clear, Xia was wearing a very beautiful dress. She's still pretty. Yeah, she don't got this, and she probably don't got nothing there, but that doesn't make her not pretty. But what do I really get here? I'm getting Xia Brookside on commentary, Ling Yang Lee in a match, dedicating that match to her friend Xia Brookside, and Rosemary trying to do some brass knucks, could not do the brass knucks, get taken by Xia Brookside. But what does this really give Rosemary, Xia Brookside, and Ling Yang Lee? I don't know. Not yet. Now you can say wait and see. That's what we're doing. This isn't the first week of this. This has been going on for at least a few months now between a Rosemary and Xia Brookside. There's got to be something that's got to happen here. Is Xia going to turn heel? Is Rosemary going to get back up and make this mean something? Because I don't know what we're getting here. I don't know. Now, next match, which was pretty obvious. When the Great Hands came out, you literally, when they talked and said there's something going on with a Mustafa Ali and he's no longer right, you're going like, okay, he's going to come out, of course, and he's going to go out with Trey. That's going to be later. But what exactly we're going to be dealing with the Great Hands? Because they don't really do much. What team are they going to go up against? They can't go up against the Rascals because the Rascals are there. We're not going to get them with the Hardys because the Hardys are going to have a segment later in the night. They're not having a match with them. They're not going up against the Nemesis because they're heels right now. So what are we getting? And the only ones that came to mind was the Aztec Warriors with Octagon Jr. Now, I know he and Victoria Crossfield are signed to TNA. Fine, I'm all right with it. But it counts, and I say this again, no matter how happy you are, what will they do with them? Let's make this very clear. I don't care how many people they sign now because I'm happy they are signing people because that was one of the bigger gripes I've had. But now you are signing people. What are you going to do with them? You must give us something to work with because you cannot just do what AEW does. You must have stories. You can't just keep giving us random matches or just wrestling match after wrestling match. And worse yet, the same people in the same wrestling matches. That's one of the major problems we had in the Knockouts division and the Tag division. Remember, at one point, the only ones we had in Impact Wrestling or TNA was either Team 3D or the Motor City Machine Guns. And they had to keep doing matches after matches after matches. And barely anyone was shown because there was no other tag teams there. So yes, we have a few tag teams there. And yes, it's actually good to see that the Aztec Warriors are a new tag team there. And we've not seen them wrestle much. So we are going to see them working together. Hopefully not only they'll just show us with the Good Hands, the Nemesis, the Hardys, the Rascals, they will bring in another team to let them work with. Even if they job or not job, we need more teams. But they didn't get a chance to wrestle. Mustafa Ali whooped ass. And then we get Trey and Wentz coming out. Then we got the best match of the night. In singles match. No last match of the night. Just a singles match, so it was a clean singles match. It was, of course, it wasn't perfectly clean because you know the cabinet of Mustafa Ali, that's what I'm calling him, the cabinet, interfered in the match, and of course Ali won. But the question's going to be where they're going to go with Ali, because it doesn't look like they're going to have Ali with a... I don't know if they're going to bring them back together again quickly. I'm hoping they'll give them some time. That's if they are going to bring them back together. That is Santana and Mustafa Ali. But I don't know. Next, we get the final match. Well, should I say this is a match per se when it came to Crossfield versus Brittany? Well, let me give it like this. I haven't seen Alicia Fox wrestle in years, okay? I'm not against Alicia, who is actually Victoria Crossford. And I'm not against her. She worked 20 years in business. She started when she was 17, about to turn 18. And I've heard a lot of criticism when she was Alicia Fox. She didn't always work very well, particularly when she was drinking. And legitimately, she's never been known to be a great wrestler. She's been always an okay wrestler that could sometimes become above average. And there's nothing wrong with that. There are some of the best pro wrestlers who are characters, who are charismatic, who can talk great, and they're above average wrestlers. And then you got some that are average and then below average. I remember her, and she pretty much did exactly what I said. She's always been an average, sometimes above average, sometimes below average. And pretty much she still wrestles the same way. There's not much of a difference when it comes to Alicia. She's a very long, lanky type of woman. Really long arms, long legs, kind of a shortish, kind of a torso. She's pretty, yes. She can talk when she's really into it, which wasn't really always her most greatest suit, but sometimes when she was really into it, she can talk. And then we go up against Brittany. I'm going to be honest here. I never checked to see who Chris Bay's girlfriend was. I always felt like sometimes you don't always need to know everything about a pro wrestler's real life. When it came to Brittany Brooks, I didn't try to check to see who Chris Bay's girlfriend was. But knowing that this is his actual girlfriend that has been by his side for months and loves the man, and finally get to see her, one, it's actually great to see that she's allowed on TV. Two, she's damn good looking. He knows how to pick them. And three, she sells pretty good. I'm actually impressed in how she sells. Now, is she a great wrestler? I need to see more of her. But the way she sold was very good when it came to dealing with, well, I'll give it to you like this. When it came to Victoria, she was okay. When it came to Brittany, she was okay when she sold, and she was okay when it came to beating up on her, which was Victoria. So it was fine. I didn't expect her to win, and that was Brittany. She was not meant to win. She was just meant to have a match. And then what do we get? We get flat out both Tessa and this is what's making me mess up. Look, I'm going to say this again. And I know people are going to say, dude, you just hate Tessa. No, I do not. I made it very clear my own feelings about what's going on with Tessa. I don't know if she did what she did. This is not about if I like her as a person or I don't like her as a person. This is not about it. This is about her booking. And I still believe that the booking she did has been bad. She's only gone up against 2 women. I am not counting a Jordynne Grace because she left the company. I'm not counting her. Yeah, she put her over, but there was controversy when she put her over because we know about what was stated in the back when she got there. And no matter if there's no controversy now, of course there isn't. But we know that people are still not happy about Tessa, along with many people doing some type of racist slur towards her. Or saying that she did racist slur still. My feeling is that if they wanted to try and squash a lot of this controversy with her, they needed to build her correctly. And that is to let her go through whatever amount of the women that are on the roster. And she's only gone through 2 women. She's gone through only Marsha Samovich and Lin Yang Lee. That's it. Nothing about Jordynne Grace can be talked about because Jordynne didn't even want to work with her. But as they say, you will still do business when you have no choice. You'll do it. And that's what Jordynne did. But that doesn't make it right. Knowing there was controversy, knowing that she has a lot of air around her that needs to be squashed to a certain extent, if they build her right, that could help take down some of the tone. And she hasn't been. And seeing that she's now working with look, knowing that Mr. Stone said, and I did talk about her in NXT, if you guys remember, Lakita Lyons, who's supposedly on Evolve now, is going to TNA. Miss, yes, the thickness, but also someone who does has some level of charisma, who does work pretty well in the ring. She's been in the business for more than a few years. She does have charisma. Yeah, she's thick, okay? She's a beautiful, well-built woman, but she does know what she's doing. And I can see a Nikita Lyons more than I can see a Carmen Petrovic. And not even going against Carmen. It's just she hasn't really been booked that well either. So next week we're going to have a tag match between the four. But I still believe that when it comes to Tessa Blanchard, she's just been booked wrong. It's not that what they're doing here is 100% bad. It's just it's not going to help squash the controversy. And we are trying to minimize it, even if we can never 100% squash it, and it's not doing it. Moving on. Let's do the stuff that happened in the back. Did I like the interaction with Santana and First Class? And who was that guy in the mask? I couldn't remember who he was. But when you see Santana talk to Sammy, saying that he wanted to show him respect because of that Full Metal barbed wire Full Metal Mayhem match. I think that was what it was. He respected him. Then First Class decided, you know what? Sammy, you're a former champion. Join us in First Class so you can be at first. And he says, nope, I don't want nothing to do with you. And while this was going on, they were messing with a little bit of KC, screwing with him because he was the smallest guy there. And he got insulted. And now we'll get something maybe with KC, or we'll get something with AJ Francis dealing with Santana. And yes, I did like it. I did like seeing Santana passing Trick Williams. I didn't say it earlier, but I haven't forgotten it. I did like it, and that could be something in the future. I wouldn't mind seeing Trick having a feud when it came to Santana, because essentially speaking, you got New York and you got a little bit of where's Trick from? Philly? I can't remember where he's from. You guys, something below. I don't remember where he's from either. Where is he from? Either Pennsylvania or Philly, maybe? I can't remember. Somewhere in Philly. In Pennsylvania, I think. Or was it Boston? I can't remember where. But I can tell you, I wouldn't mind seeing it. Let's talk about the Hardys. Of course, we already know that Jeff cannot go to Canada. So they set this up to try and be honest for once, because they used to have Jeff get beaten up or hurting. But this time they decided to address it, because when the Nimitz came out and the Hardys already talked about, well, they cheated, but we're not going to cry about it. We should have been able to beat them even if they cheated, but we're going to get the titles back. Nimitz come out, they make it very clear, you're nothing compared to us. We're the better tag team as brothers. But if you want your tag champs to go up against you, fine. It'll be an Under Siege. But oh wait, Jeff can't go. There's some type of problem. So it's canceled until Santino came out. And then he says next week Jeff will go up against, surprisingly, after 16 years of never facing each other, we're going to have Jeff go up against Nick Nimitz. It's been 16 years back in WWE when they faced each other, and it was in a hardcore match? Or I think that's what it was. I don't think it was a street fight. It was a hardcore match. So they haven't faced each other in 16 years. Even when they were in the same companies, they have not faced each other in more than half a decade. So it will be interesting to see how Jeff is going to work with Nick. So I'm actually looking forward to this match. Yes, there isn't much of a story behind it, but if you look at the history, two guys, one was having problems before he went to TNA, that was Jeff. Then Nick, Dolph Ziggler, was just beginning to come up. He had just left the Spirit Squad a couple of years before, and he was just trying to build himself up. And we get this crossing between each other, and they had not crossed since. It'd be interesting. I'll give it to you that whoever Matt is going to pick at Under Siege, I don't know if it's going to be the tag titles, because it's obvious Santino didn't say it was going to happen that way. But it will be interesting to see who they're going to pick. My guess is they may pick Leon Slater, because he is connected to the Hardys at the moment. That will probably be the best option, I think, to replace Jeff. That's what I'm thinking, but I don't know. You guys, some below. Let me give it to you like this when it comes to the Ashes with, I forgot her name, Billy. the makeover. I know there's going to be a lot of people and say, I do not like that segment when it came to the Ashes with Billy. And let me give it to you like this. Every company has comic relief. And that is what Ash, Heather, and now I believe her name is Billy. Billy Elegance is going to be. The Elegance brand is going to be a comedic type of thing. And that's what they need. Is it always going to be funny? No. Is it going to be funny sometimes? Yeah. But that's how many companies have it. They have to have at least somebody for comic relief. And it's all right. And particularly you got not one, but you got 3 blonde women who are damn good looking. One of them is like in a Ash of Elegance. Her boobs are like this, and she is good looking. Heather's pretty, and the other one is also good looking. And then you got the concierge, the Iceman, originally what he called himself. And they're funny to a certain extent. I'm just saying. Now, let's get this over with. The dog collar match. I'm going to say it clearly. I knew Macklin was going to win the dog collar match. I knew he was. There's no way they're going to just let it happen here. It would be better if it was Under Siege. But if they were going to do it, it would have been dumb. So they just wanted to have something special, so it would hype themselves up going into Under Siege. I know that it was an order from either Anthem or from the president, the new one of TNA, No More Blood. Now we understand they're supposed to be getting into other streaming services. Look, I understand they're going to say if it happens accidentally, fine, but no more bloodletting ever again to that extent. They're not going to allow it. That was a wrong decision. I'm saying it now. TNA is no better than AEW and WWE. Blood eventually happens. Not talking about accidental blood. They're going to do it eventually. Now, if they're doing it on Impact Plus, or they're going to do it on a pay-per-view, okay. But if it's permanently banned from the company completely, that is the most stupidest thing they could have done. Because sooner or later, a company will need to do it for a story. And if you're restricting that, you're going to restrict the company. Now, I believe this came from the president of TNA, who is a network executive. And you know how dumb they are. I'm saying it now. Networks, when you get rid of your executives and they go into companies like TNA, they think they can do the same things that they did when it comes to network television. It doesn't work. You cannot do the same things you think you can do in regular TV when it comes to people who do pro wrestling. You can't. Can they go overboard with the blood? Of course they did. And there was a lot of bleeding there. It looked like Macklin had a really nasty cut. That's why he was bleeding so damn much. But the point here is this. Banning blood, other than when it accidentally happens, if it's once in a while on a Impact Plus show or pay-per-view, then I'm fine with it. If it's permanently banned from the regular Impact show, the Impact Plus shows, not Impact Plus, Impact show, the TNA Plus show, and the pay-per-views, they made a stupid mistake, and I will say it ad nauseum until they get it back. But this is just me. Peace.